Well, good morning, Karen. I'm really excited about this topic because
Good morning.
journals. You have published 2 journals for me and Iron Woman to date, and this week we're going to be working towards publishing the 3rd journal.
I
And
know.
journals, because they're so easy, aren't they? They're just so easy, and for me, it's about finding that little gap in what you do that you can slot a journal in that can make things a lot easier for your clients. So shall we, before you start, Karen, find out who's online and why they might be exploring a journal happening in their business? I just want to warn people in advance. I've got Sally Brooks arriving any minute. So at one stage, there might be one of me here, and then you'll look up and there might be 2 of me. So I'm just giving you some advance warning of that. So this morning is all about journals. Journal writing, journal creating, exploring where in your business could you slot a journal. So can we start with you, Miriam? You're an artist, an amazing artist. I feel so I need to say that in a very posh voice. You're an artist. So an artist. Can you tell us where you feel a journal could fit in your business?
Well, I ran a little while ago 5 minutes of creativity for just 5 minutes a day for 5 days. So I think I could do a journal that would be just some really simple exercises that I use personally when I'm drawing or when I'm even just kind of like self-care, but through, like, maybe if I did it through seasons, if it was, like a summertime one or a spring one or a winter, and different things for people to draw, and just I don't know, and maybe writing down how it makes them feel as well.
So that's really fascinating, because I know that your backstory starts when your mum passed away. So I wonder as well if you could almost do like a grieving journal.
Yes.
And looking at almost like emotionally, where are people inclined to be to work with you emotionally? So it could be, separation journal, just a calming journal, calm your mind journal, and all things like that that relate to being an artist and having a range of journals. We're going to
Yes.
get all the creative juices flowing this morning. So if you can think of some ideas as well for Miriam, please drop them in the chat box. So we're going to be coming back to your artistic journals, Miriam. So coming to you, Lynn, because you're in a completely different sector. You're into your last will and testament. So
Yeah.
where could you weave in a journal?
Well, this is why I jumped on today. I don't really know much about journals, but I do think of possibly making something to educate people then. So to tell them all about maybe a will, because there's so many people to say, oh, I don't have anything, so I don't need one. And I very often say, well, that's more the reason why you should have one. Just because you think I don't own property or I haven't got masses of savings. So it's just educating people around that is not just to do with dealing with, finances. It's about having those important things sorted, maybe such as a funeral. If somebody passed away, would you know whether they would want burial or cremation? A lot of people, they don't talk about it. And then that thing happens and it's like, I don't know what they wanted. We never really chatted about it. So I don't know, maybe something educational. I could probably do a journal around, the importance of discussing funerals, discussing executors, discussing guardianship. So I don't know, I'm not sure, but I think there could be something.
Yeah, could it be something like 30 days to craft your will journal and give them 30 things to think about that would culminate in becoming a will? So any ideas, pop it in the chat box. We're going to be coming back to you, Lynn. So we need to get those creative juices flying. Ellen, there must be tons of ways you could create a journal around what you do. You're the easy one, really. You could almost think of 10 subjects straight away. So tell us the kind of things you could be writing journals on.
I know, I was thinking now about, one of the major common complaints I get from menopausal women is the weight they put on and how to lose it, and keeping a weight loss journal would be good because, you've got emotions, triggers for overeating, keeping tracks on what you've eaten during the day, just putting your emotions down towards it as well. That'd be a good one, I think.
And what about menopausal mood journal?
Yeah, exactly. And connecting it to what's going on in your life at the moment as well, because it's not just the hormones, other things affect it as well, what you're going through, or it's a life transition as well, isn't it? Midlife, all sorts happen. So yeah,
Have you looked at
this.
the work of Dr. Amen in America, AMEN?
No,
So he talks about brain health,
right, okay.
nutrition, and I think you'd be particularly interested in his work. And he says, a healthy brain gives you a healthy life.
Yeah, okay.
And he's quite strict on sort of, well, he isn't quite strict, but he is quite straight then on why we put on weight, how we manage losing weight. And so some of his stuff around, how that diet creates a healthy brain, that I think that's something you might be interested in as well. So, but there's so many topics, isn't it?
There are. It's endless, really. And with the photographs for Friday, I made a reel on my Instagram. I've tagged you in it. So have a look at Ellen Coaching. It's on there.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, I'll have to have a look. Can you send it to me via Instagram, or can you send it via Facebook Messenger?
I'll figure it out, I'm sure.
Fantastic. And we've got Yvonne joining us. I bet Yvonne's got loads of ideas for journals. So perhaps we can come back to Yvonne when she's sort of settled in. And Steffi, photography wise, there must be loads of opportunities to create journals. Especially, I can remember, going for a photo shoot, must have been about a year ago, but it took me about 6 months to plan for that photo shoot to happen. Things like, the spaces where I was going to have the photo shoot done, the whole hair look, the whole weight look, the whole fashion look. There's just so much in preparation. So perhaps, self-care journal for females leading up to having a photo shoot. So
you could also create a journal with their own photograph on the front of it. So a personalized journal.
A personal journal. That is a fantastic idea. So Yvonne, are you there? Or perhaps she hasn't hooked up to her sound.
I am here. My camera's not working for some reason, but I am here.
Right, lovely. Can you give us some of your ideas you've had for a journal?
Well, I did do a journal of sorts with Karen. I did my daily planner because I have my day books. So I have some of those printed off. I don't know what else I can do, really. I did think about, I don't know.
I've had lots of day journal.
Yeah, we did think about that as well. I wrote a book that's with another set of publishers now about the spiritual 5 a day, and we did come up with ways to have perhaps a scripture or a thought for the day, and room then to put your feelings on that, and a bit of gratitude, your 3 gratitudes as well. So yeah, that was another idea we had. I'd forgotten about that one, Karen. Thank you.
So Karen, without further ado, I'm going to hand over to you. But now you've heard the potential of what people could be doing, perhaps you could pick this up now and let's explore further.
Oh God. A really nice presentation, but it's like I almost need to bin it now to sort of work out what people actually want to hear, because I can talk about journals till the cows come home. So do you want to specifically learn how to actually create one? Do you want to think about what your own journal is, or should I just do the presentation and you can sort of shout at me as we go along?
I think you should just do your presentation because we need to learn
Okay.
how to do it.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen and hopefully I won't bore you to death. If I see people yawning, we know what's happened. So I don't like doing death by PowerPoint. So hopefully this won't be. Okay, so basically this is just look about how to create a journal for your business. And as part of the published method, P is about preparation. So I just wanted to go through some things with you to get you thinking about what type of journal you want to create. And then we can look about how you go about creating it. So when it comes to journaling, journaling is just a personal practice of writing down your thoughts, feelings, or experiences in a journal or diary, although there are different formats for it. And there are different types depending on what you want to achieve and how you prefer things out. So there are just loads of them. But while you can do different types, research has shown that actually writing it down helps you process that whole actually physically writing things down helps your brain to process things. So there are lots of different types of journals, but the four core ones are the reflective journal, themed journals, so like travel, gratitude, affirmation, grief, dream journals, tarots. Bullet journaling is a very specific type of journaling where you use bullet points to actually just summarize your day. And then you've got the creative journals where you use artistic expression to write things down essentially, or use other things within it. Okay. But there are also people now doing digital journals, audio journals and video journals. So for people who don't like writing or physically can't write, then there are other ways of doing this. Okay. You can use things like Otter to transcribe your audio and your video if you want to create a written version. But you know, that's just another option depending on your ability or inability, depending, you know, what you can do. Okay. So when it comes to reflective journaling, and you can see that I've kind of nicked this off Chat GDP. Basically, reflective journal is exactly what it says. It involves recording and analyzing your thoughts, experiences, and your emotions. But the benefits of this are huge. So increased self-awareness, emotional processing, and problem solving. So just having a simple reflective journal can actually give you a better self-awareness. And when you look in terms of emotional intelligence, self-awareness is one of those key things that allows you to develop emotional intelligence. Problem solving, looking at the challenges you've encountered, the setbacks you've overcome, and looking at things that allow you to identify the patterns, the triggers, also how you work around solutions. And also personal growth. At the end of the day, that's why most people do it. And this is why really, really successful people do reflective journals, because it allows them to look at the mistakes, learn from them, track the process, and then set their goals for personal development. From a themed journal, one of the best themed journals, and one I love creating, is the gratitude journal. Basically, it just involves writing down things you're grateful for, positive events, achievements, relationships, the sky that's blue, the sun that's shining, all those different things that you are grateful for. And when you look at somebody like Oprah Winfrey, who writes down 10 different things every single day, she has gone from the big things like it's a sunny day to the tiny little things like somebody said thank you and somebody opened a door, the dog smiled at me today, little things. So when you start out with gratitude journaling, you start out with the big things, but the more you do it, the smaller the things you're grateful for. And from personal point of view, gratitude journaling, there was research to suggest that if you did a gratitude journal for 21 days, the effects of that would be felt for so much longer, because it really does help your resilience and your positivity, because all you're focusing on your mind, on the good things that are happening to you, not the bad. Okay. So gratitude journals for me are the best thing ever created. They change how you see things. And when people talk about me as being positive and more resilient, this is the reason why. Because even if I don't write things down, I still start mentally each morning what I'm grateful for. You know, the fact I've got a soft bed, a roof over my head, that I've still got Daniel, that I've got 3 dogs. Those little things just keep you in focusing on the good stuff. Because no matter what crap you're looking at and what crap you're facing, there is always something you can find something good in it. It's not Pollyanna or anything like that. It's just whatever you look for, you will find. So start looking for the good stuff and then get into the habit of finding it. And that's what gratitude journaling does for you. And you can see how I'm passionate about that one. Bullet journaling, also one of my favorite things. It just is amazing. It combines a planner, to-do list, personal notes, but it's all about using journals in bullet points. So some people find it really useful from a personal point of view, just to keep a track of things, but as bullet points. And there's different types of bullets depending on whether it was an event, whether it's a birthday, or things like that. But it's become so much more with bullet journaling. What you have usually at the beginning is some sort of index, so you can keep track of what you're doing. And people have got very creative with their bullet journals. If you go online onto Pinterest and have a look at bullet journals, there are some amazing things in there. And because you've just got a load of dots on there, you're not restricted by lines, which is why I always use bullet journals, even from a personal journaling point of view. So benefits of bullet journaling: improve productivity because you've got the tasks and everything like that, organization, but also mindfulness and reflection. So in the same way it's a reflective journal, it's also doing it in a different way that allows you to see things in a different way. And that bullet journaling was just amazing. But just remember, bullet journaling or bullet journal is actually trademarked. So you can't actually use that term without permission, which is why I always call it journaling, because that's not trademarked. And then there's creative journaling. So this is actually quite different. So using artistic mediums. So you can be drawing, you can be painting, you can collage. So it's almost like almost like a scrapbook, where you're using different things in there, but you have the ability to be creative as well. So it's almost like a scrapbook come journal. So you can put stuff in there. So you can put the leaves in there that you've got. You can draw them. It's just whatever you want it to be. It's however creative you want to be. So it could be poems, it could be painting, it could be all sorts of stuff. It could be mosaics or things, So you could just have fun with it. But it is about that expression of thoughts and emotions. It is a stress relieving thing because it's very meditative, and it's about trying different things as well. So it really does help your creativity. And I'd say if you had a creative journal that was also a grief journal where you had some prompts in there, that could be quite good. Or you could also use it for sort of end of life planning, where you can look at different things that people want to happen. Who gets Aunt Joan's jewelry. But as you say, it's also thinking in terms of what you want to happen after you've gone. I know with my aunt created a very nice will. She left everything divided between 4 people, and I was one of them, fortunately. And she just wanted everything divided up, and she basically left it to her to do that, which caused so many eruptions because people wanted different things. People wanted different paintings. They wanted different things that she'd got, some silver, some crockery, all sorts of things. And she would have been absolutely wetting herself laughing at all the arguments that had been created by this one will, because things didn't go the way it was expected, but I know she was upstairs enjoying it. So when you do create a will, just be prepared for what the impact of people afterwards and what you want that impact to be. So you can create an awful lot of problems in families and create an awful lot of stress in families if you set up your will the wrong way. And if you want to do that deliberately, then you've got something to laugh at upstairs. From a business point of view, and hopefully I've still got you there and you haven't sort of died of boredom, it is an additional income stream. Okay. So you can make some money from it. It will differentiate you from your competitors because it's something that that's got branded to you. You have the upsell and cross-sell opportunities. So for example, if you were doing a grief journal, then you could include that as part of a course on what to do when you're grieving, or 30 days into widowhood, or the first year, or something like that, where you bring people along for a coaching course, 1 day a month for 12 months, where people are going through that process of just lost somebody and want to do that. So there are so many different ways of doing it, depending on what you do. So you could do it for course on menopause, where you've written a book or journal on menopause and you upsell within the book. So essentially what you would do is, within the book, you create an email opt-in that takes people onto your website, that then allows them to get onto your email list, and then you can talk about the course that follows the journal. So you might give them 30 journal prompts around grief or around the menopause, and then they've got the menopause journal, they can do that, and then they can go on to the menopause course, where you go through it on a weekly or 6-weekly or monthly basis, or whatever it is you want to do, but use it as part of the sales funnel where it's your lowest price offer. Also really good for VIP gifts. So if you're going to do a VIP gift, do the hardcover, do it with full color, so it looks more impressive, it looks color and just looks really, really cool. And also for things like goodie bags, if somebody's going to an event and they're looking for goodie bag things to put in goodie bags, doesn't cost a huge amount from Amazon's point of view, but it's a way of sending out something that's branded to you right across the board. Okay. So when it comes to designing your journal, okay, you need to do your research. You need to think about the type, style, and the structure. So I'm going to escape from this a second, and we're going to go into here's what I prepared earlier. So when it comes to types of journals, there are just so many. So if I typed in journal on Amazon here, you can see that they have 60,000 results. Okay. And they've got everything from these little notebooks, to kids' journals, to ones with pens, to all sorts of stuff on there. Okay. There is loads of them. Okay. You have to think about what you want for your customers. Okay. Do you want a simple leather journal with no lines on it, that's just pure paper? Do you want it to be themed? There are all sorts of things. But if you go onto somewhere like Etsy, you've got all these people who actually can make them for you and create them and then personalize. So you could also do it for your business. And you can see where people have created different journals that are very simple, but that they can personalize them with, for example, your letter on there. So there are people actually there who can do that for you. You've also got things like Ancient Wisdom. So this is a wholesaler that does leather journals, and you can actually see handmade, different colors, different styles. So you could do a bucket list book, all sorts of stuff in there. And they're only a few quid to get wholesale. There's this company that I've got one from in Ireland. they are actually leather journals that you actually can create, and they're personalized. So they create one purely for you, specifically for you. They do planners as well, but they are full leather. They do all these different things in there for notes, so they've got different styles in there for to-do lists. So you just slot them in, and they are just so cool, and they just fit in the handbag so well. But they are just handmade, individual, unique to you, and just really, really special. So that's another one. Okay. If you wanted to, again, you could go all the way to China, because China, if you go onto Alibaba, they are the wholesalers. So they can actually do the type of journal that you want. So if you want a very simple journal, but you want it to have leather design, you want the ribbons on there, the pen holder, then they can do them very simply for you. But if you want to make them yourself, then again, it's a very simple thing to do. And I tend to use Microsoft Word for it. And I've got loads of templates that help you to do it as well. So for example, I created a little networking journal to capture all the people I meet at different events, with the intention of actually sort of catching up with those people, making sure that I'm connected with them on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and who the people I want to follow up with. But I also make a note of any speakers, what they've spoken about, and any people I've had one-to-ones with. So if you're in BNI, if you're in One Networking, For Networking, or some other networking organization, like I Am Woman, for example, then you could have your own networking journal. And it just allows you to keep track of things. Okay, very, very simple. But with that one, it was just a very simple structure. So it's 2 pages for each meeting, 60 meetings, 120 pages. Add a bit of information about networking at the beginning, brand it to yourself, job done. Okay, so very, very simple. When it comes to things like gratitude journals, again, it's about the structure of the journal. So with this one, it's a very simple one. Got the image of Canva. I got some of these images of Creative Fabrica, and very, very simple, but I just used 1 page a day where I'm thankful for, I'm grateful for. So using very simple prompts, but just having these little hearts at the bottom. So each one of the prompts, there's 7 different prompts that are just repeated for 13 weeks. And that builds into the journal. So each day is slightly different. I am blessed because, and a different heart. So very, very simple structure to it, but it looks really pretty with the sort of edging on there, with the hearts and stuff like that. So very simple to create a themed journal. If you like unicorns, we can do something very similar where we have 3 journal prompts a day. So we've got the date, you've got the date, the days. So great, I'm grateful for, today I was kind when. So just a very simple structure, and then you draw an emoji to describe your days. It could be bleh, it could be so it could be whatever you want it to be. But again, it's a very simple structure. And with that one, it's just the same page day after day. With a dream journal, I just use 2 pages a day. So very simple. Date, time, type of dream, what I dreamt about, if there's any people in there, the themes, the symbols, and try then analyze it. What is my dream trying to tell me? And then thoughts. So very simple, 2 pages to a day, copy and paste it several times over and do it. Now, let's have a look. So I have, if I can find it, it was on Dropbox. And journals. So I have created lots of different journals, and I've created loads of templates. So they can be very simple. And I think it was something like 68 templates in the end that I found. And when it comes to structuring them, this was the thing. So you could have the same design on the front. So you could just have the same way, it's just all pages same page, copy and pasted. You can have it with a front cover with some sort of organizer and create it as a book. And then you can have 2 pages to date with the same thing, front cover. So I just came up with 68 different ways of doing it. Okay, so different designs, different ways of changing that design and tweaking it. So the same structure on a page, but different designs on there. So it just depends on what you want to do. So when it comes to design it, I always think in terms of the structure of a book. Do you want 1 page a day where it's the same prompt every single day, or same set of 3 prompts every day? Okay, you can create a structure that always has to be even numbers. So if you're doing it the same each day, you don't have to worry about it. But when you're creating a book, you need to think in terms of the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Okay, so a new chapter always starts on the right-hand side. But if you're doing something that's 2 pages, you want something on the left-hand side, the right-hand side, and then you copy and paste it. Okay. So if you're doing a gratitude journal, what you might want to do is the themed journal where you've got 7 days of different images, and then to create the even, you just have week 1 and maybe a positive quote. So you're having 8 pages to the week. If you wanted to do one around some around goal setting, for example, you could do a 10-page spread where you've got your week 1, whatever positive quote, 1 day for your goal setting for the week, 7 days of journaling, and then the 8th day is accountability, or sort of page 10 is accountability. And so you can use different types of structures within your book. It's just a case of thinking about what you want to do. You can also do different prompts on there as well. So there are websites that will sell prompts, but you're also creative, able to do it yourself. And think about the prompts that you want to do around the themes that you want to do. Okay, so it depends on what you want people to do. You can have a blank journal, although you can't sell them on Amazon because they don't like blank pages. But you can get around that one just by having an image in the background, because it doesn't understand the difference between image and text. So if you have an image in the background and just blank paper, it doesn't understand that that's different to having blank paper. Okay, so it thinks there's something on there. So you can get around Amazon's rules quite easily. Okay, so when you think of a book for your business, hello Sally. Think of the structure. So any book is divided into 3 parts. You've got your front matter, which is everything up to the introduction. So your title page, your copyright page, table of contents, quote, preface, all those sort of things. And then you've got your back matter, which is things like about the author, the glossary, index, all those sort of things. Any other book you've written, no, anything like that. But the body of your book is the book itself, and it always starts on the right-hand page. So it always starts on an odd number. Okay. So with books, your right-hand page is always an odd number, your left-hand page is always an even number. That's just the way things are. Okay. So when you're designing your journal, think about what it is you want your client to achieve. So if you want them to just the verbal diarrhea, reflective journal, whatever it is you want to do, a very plain journal, it could just be lined. It could be very simple. It could just be lined, in which case, if you want to do that, give me a shout. I've got a simple template for that. You can just upload that, create the book cover, job done. Same if you want a bullet journal. I've got a very simple template for a bullet journal that's just lined. You can upload that onto Amazon, put a book cover on there, job done. If you want to think in terms of different prompts, then you can think in terms of how much writing space do you want? So you could create like the author, excuse my French, the artist's way was talking about 3 pages a day for your writing pages. Okay, in which case, if you create a structure of 4 pages a day, one page could be a prompt, an image, a quote, a scripture, and then you've got 3 writing pages afterwards that allows them to reflect on that. So you can do that where you can have the scripture on the left-hand page and then 3 pages writing afterwards, or you can have it on the right-hand page and 3 pages coming from it. It actually flows better when you've got the scripture on the right-hand page and then 3 pages afterwards. But you need to think in terms of always an even number of pages. Does that make sense? Have I lost you? Are you with me? Okay. So think in terms of the structure of your book and always in terms of even numbers. Okay. So if you're doing the Artist Way one, they're very simple to create. If you're doing gratitude journal, again, very simple to create. You can just do 3 prompts a day and you have the same thing going through. You can have the day of the week, and then in which case you've got 7 days, and you create one where it might be week 1, it might be an image that they focus on. It's whatever you want it to be. Okay. Yeah. Questions? If you want any questions, that's a good idea, Cheryl.
Okay, lovely. Thank you, Karen. I know that you're just full of information.
Too much information sometimes.
You're an amazing collection of information. And what I'm aware of is that people will be thinking, how do I do that? So somebody like Miriam's probably thinking, yeah, but how do I do that? Lynn, how do I do that? Ellen, the same, Yvonne, Steffi, Lorna, Sally, how do I do that? So let's take some questions from people for us to really get to grips with, well, how are you going to do that? So can we come to you, Lorna, because you're a sort of late entrant, as it were. So thinking about your journal for your amazing artistic photography. So how might you do what Karen's just introduced you to?
Oh gosh, right. Well, first of all, sorry I'm late. So I feel like, yes, I've kind of rocked up, and then in true Cheryl fashion, you've just thrown me on the stage. Thinking, oh, and it looks great. I mean, I look, I've got 2 books sat within me that are waiting to emerge, and I love the idea of journal. I love Yvonne really got me into the mindset of the list, doing the list of to do the night before. So for me, that's how I'm wired anyway. And the thought of having my own personal journal very much appeals. The world of Canva is one I'm very familiar with. It's just a case of cracking on and doing it. And thank you, Karen, from, just the short space of time I've attended so far today. I feel very inspired to do that, but also maybe to do a journal for our clients, because I can feel the energy. And I, knowing my clients so well, I think there would be a huge appetite where we could incorporate some of our imagery into a journal, especially the Angelica and the more fantasy theme work that we're doing. So that's quite exciting for me. Thank you.
Sally.
Yeah, I was thinking the same sort of things. I mean, mindfulness is so massive in terms of leadership and things like this. And I always talk to my clients about journaling and starting to explore this and tap into the spiritual side a little bit as a leader, because there's so many of them close the door to it. And this would be a really nice way to do it. And of course, I'm a big fan of always leaving my branding behind as well. So it's another reason to maintain that relationship with them, because when for many of you who do coaching or liaise with clients, you liaise with them once, twice, 3, 4 times, and then you walk away. Well, to leave something like this that's got your brand all over it, in 6 months' time when they're struggling again, it'd be quite a nice reminder for them to pick it up and go, oh yeah, I'll get back in touch. So I think it's got that.
It's like a business
value.
card, isn't it?
Yeah,
a big business card.
But that constant reminder of what you did for them and the part you played in their journey. So really explore it.
The thing about a journal is, unlike a business card, you don't throw it in the bin, you don't give it away to other people. It's always there. And it's just very simple.
It's that confirmation constantly of the value you added to them, because when you're coaching them for the 6, maybe 8 sessions you're with them, you're making that difference. But like that difference lives on through the journal, if that makes sense.
And if you've got a simple one on Amazon, if you can use it as a lead magnet, because you can do a simple journal with the thing in there. This is what journaling's all about. These are my top 10 tips for journaling. And if you want some journal prompts, go to my website. Here's 33 journal prompts, and that gets them onto your email list. And then you can do a course around journaling with that person on a specific theme, depending on what they're doing, or as part of a coaching program where you sort of coach them and then you give them a journal prompt to reflect on for that week that they can then use in the journal. And if you've got a VIP client, then you can do what Cheryl did and create this hardcover version of a journal in full color that's a very premium product. And if you want to go the whole hog, you can go and get a nice pen, get it boxed up with a bit of tissue paper, and create something that's really unique, that's a VIP gift for somebody when they sign up to you, that makes them feel, oh my God, this is so gorgeous, I love you, I want to work with you, and make them feel that actually they get huge value from you, but it doesn't cost you a huge amount to create that.
Yeah, totally agree. And you know, little things like that always make your business look bigger than it is as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm constantly waving. I'm in and out of this virtual background.
So let's
like a little ghost.
Yeah.
So does anyone have any questions for Karen? Over to you, Miriam.
I was just thinking, when you were saying about having it all boxed up in tissue and everything like that, making it look beautiful and a delight to open, would that be something that Amazon does for you, or do you do it? So
You have to do it yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So,
but there are companies, I would imagine, that would do that for you. You just have to sort of do a bit of research to see that. But it would be a case of ordering some boxes, ordering some tissue paper. I have a feeling that Ancient Wisdom actually does stuff like that already. I know I've got some stuff from them.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind the idea of doing it all. I like the idea of doing it all. I, love that part of it. I'm thinking of the cost of having the books done and how many you would do, or previously in other talks you've spoken of that you just upload it all and then you don't have to worry about getting it printed or anything like that, and just thinking how those two things couldn't really go together then, could they?
Well, they can, because what you would do is you would create your premium product and you'd have it on Amazon, for example, or Lulu if you don't want it published. Use them as a printer. So it could be that you've got hardcover, it could be ring bound if you want to do it through Lulu, because Amazon don't do that. But if you wanted a premium hardcover journal in color, then Amazon could be the printer. You order it as an author copy, so you actually pay the print costs plus postage. They send it to you. So if you order 50 from them, you've got 50 in the background, order 50 boxes, maybe get some coloring pens, some gel pens if you're doing creative journal, get some crystals if you want to do that. You can go on and just create some, go to a printer, get some cards printed with journal prompts. So, you can create very simple card decks just using Canva. Take it to a printer, they will print it out for you. And all you need with a card deck, if you think about what a card deck is, most of them have got the one image on one side and then something on the other side. So it could be an affirmation, it could be a journal prompt. And then that could be part of a package where you've got the journal, the card deck, a pen, some crystals, something nice, all boxed up nicely. You can do, have it in your back bedroom where you just have some there, order 20, create a course. This is your VIP product that you then send out. So you're limiting this premium product to 20 people, have it already created. But you can also personalize it by putting in some notes from you to that person, say, welcome to the course, Karen, lovely to see you here. Hope you have any, get on really well. If there's any problems, call me Miriam at this number, and just create that really personal feel. But remember that this is a VIP, so you're going to be charging accordingly. But everything is going to be wholesale costs. You might have to put everything together and pay for postage. But it's about that, creating that feeling. It's that whole Maya Angelou. I forget what you told me, but I remember how you made me feel. And when you get the really good VIP product where, Into Wisdom do crystals that you can sort of put together, you can get some pens. Somebody did some crystal pens. A friend of mine got some. I don't know. I think she got the pens from AliExpress and then put the crystals in there. Has someone to do it, but again, they're very unique. But AliExpress do them very cheaply. So you talk about maybe £1 for each pen, but then you put the crystals in there, tiny crystals, but they are so nice because you feel like you're channeling something. So I've got one in gold with citrine in it, and I just feel like it's channeling money, when I'm writing with it, and it's just so cool. So it's creating that sort of premium feeling to it, that you're giving something that they really want, that is so unique but so you, that nobody else is doing it or copying it, or they can copy it a certain amount, but they can't copy that personalization because it's coming from you, coming from your heart. Does that make sense?
I'm
Yeah.
going to pull it together, Karen. I just wanted to
Sorry.
add to Miriam, you can also do a print on demand. So you don't have to get them all printed. So for me in I Am Woman, whenever somebody joins as a member, I put an order through to Amazon and have their book sent directly to them. And I'm only paying for one at a time to be printed on demand and sent
Okay.
directly. So I'm not getting involved in the postage.
Yes, but then you wouldn't be able to gift wrap it, would you?
No.
No.
Just depends on what you're doing in terms of your VIP.
Yeah.
I mean, the journal we did with I Am Woman is just hardcover, stunning inside. It's just one of those that you just want to sort of touch all the time and cuddle. It's almost a sin to write in it because it's just so beautiful. But it is a VIP product. It's not so VIP when Amazon deliver it, but if you sort of got the whole thing of the pen and everything like that, you could really, but then you'd be charging 4 figures for the service, at least, to give that premium product, because they would expect something of that level.
Because they're
Do you know what I mean?
in Germany, aren't they? And they're £35 each just to get printed. So
Germany or Poland.
the hardbacks are really pretty expensive. So can we do a little bit of a round robin, because we've got 8 minutes left. So I'd love to know, what have you got out of this session and how might you be progressing having a journal for your business? So can we come to you, Lorna?
Sorry. Just, do you know what? It's as simple as I just feel inspired. I really feel inspired. And Karen, I would love to talk to you to arrange a bit of a one-to-one at some point, please. Because as I say, I've got all these ideas going on in my head now. I feel ready now to bring some of them down and start working in a more cohesive way to bring ideas to fruition. So, but thank you just for the inspiration this morning.
Oh,
You're welcome.
Thank you. And coming to you, Miriam. So have you got even more thoughts now you want to?
I have, yes, I have. No, I feel really inspired as well. I want to do a little bit of research and see what other maybe grief journals and also other creative journals there are, and see how I could make it my own as well. So yeah, it's been great. Thank you.
Fantastic. And Ellen, gosh, you must have a list of about 20 journals now, thinking, I could do this.
I've got it all planned out already. I think it's amazing. I've never thought about this before. And it's just a no-brainer for my business, really, because I teach the menopause women to create healthy habits in their lives that they can stick to, and that'll help their menopause. And of course, once I detach from them, they're like, oh, what do we do now? So this would be brilliant for kind of keeping them accountable to stick to what I've taught them. So yeah, amazing. Thank you.
On that, they can track their patterns of behaviour through the journals as well.
Yeah.
As a
There is a really nice page that you can add in there, which is like it's 31 going across, or you can just do it for the month. So you can do 7 going across and then 4 for the weeks, where people colour in how they're feeling, and they have a little chart and they can visually see how they're feeling. and they can do the same with symptoms, so it can be colourful as well. So there is some really cool things. I think this one person did it with balloons. So each day was a balloon, and you just coloured in what that balloon felt, and then you could just let it go as well. So there's so many different ways of doing it.
An idea as well, you know, those like spider webs where you get, how are you feeling today? If you said, you know, tired, this leads to energized, this leads to that, and then you follow the path down. And then the last one is, oh, you need another coaching session. Yeah. But yeah, you could do all sorts, couldn't you?
I think that's the thing that this is what I love about journals. I could not create all the different journals that are possible. But I can empower people to do that.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And over to you, Lynn. So has this inspired you to create a last will and testament journal?
Well, yeah, it's funny because I'd heard about journaling, but I really had no idea what it was about, to be fair. So it was a lovely presentation, Karen. It was really interesting in the different ways you can actually do the journaling. I particularly like the gratitude as well, the daily gratitude, and yeah, it's something that I think I will be looking into. So I would like to have a chat at some point.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and if I just move that way, then you've got the way.
Yeah.
Bitly Coffee with Karen. Very simple, just to book a call.
And also, of course, we've
Thank
got the recording, so you'll be able to see some of the points Karen made again. So if we just do a quick rerun on it. And I know Steffi's going to arrange to connect with you, Karen. I'm already working with you. I know we're just going to launch a third journal. And over to you, Sally. What are your thoughts?
Again, you know, just a lot of this stuff, you know, don't you? And you've probably had a fleeting idea somewhere along the line that, I mean, I do the 4-figure coaching, you know, and I don't know why I just haven't done it. Just send in those notebooks, because I'm always looking for a way to remind them that I'm still there after we finish our relationship. And the penny just dropped. It is give them something.
Wonderful. So, round of applause for Karen. Well, yeah, we did Steffi's contact because Steffi's lost her voice.
Oh, bless her.
Yeah, poor Steffi. So, Karen, last words with you. Would you have anything that you want to say? Do you have any offers on, or do you just want to have coffee and just see where it goes, or have you
I
got?
think at the moment I've just let go of one of my courses, and I'm looking to rebuild the business after everything that's happened in the last year. So I'm going to be creating the ultimate journaling course at some point. I just have to get my bum in gear to do that. It's an idea in my head to teach you how to do that. So depending on whether you want to learn how to create the structure yourself, or whether you want to just an overview of it and do it, then I've got loads of ideas in the background. But I just love working with people. So if you want to sit down with me and just talk through what your ideas are, and then I can sort of create them in Microsoft Word, and then you just go backwards and forwards and just say, no, that's wrong. What I do is I send you a flip book of your book, so you can see what it would look at from a layout point of view. And then we just create the cover on Canva, which is quite easy to do. I think Lorna would just be so surprised at how you can do that, because it's just so easy. But yeah, so if you want me to help you create a journal, if you want to have another chat, just that way. I will one day work out which way it is. Just
I can remember, if it makes me feel any better, Karen, I can remember the first online course I did. I looked at my hair and I thought, oh no. And I went like this and then realized I didn't know how to get it back because it's all backwards on the screen. Yeah, so we all have problems with right and left with it. So thank you so much, Karen. You were absolutely amazing. What are the other software you mentioned? You mentioned some software, Karen.
Which one was that one? There's a website called Creative Fabrica that has loads and loads of images and journal prompts and stuff like that. ChatGPT is the artificial intelligence thing where you can actually ask it to create quotes and prompts and stuff like that.
What was the first one you just mentioned?
Creative Fabrica.
That's it. Yeah.
Creative Fabrica is a website where you have a subscription or just pay as you go. And they have something ridiculous like 100,000 different fonts on there that you can license. 600,000 different images, digital paper that you can use in the background of your journal to create something unique. All those positive quotes, motivational quotes, they've got them in the typography. So you can just insert those into them. Those little sort of frames that you can use, this books belongs to, they've got images for that as well. Those little hearts came from there. So Creative Fabrica, I've got so much stuff to create themed journals, unique journals, very pretty journals, whether you want it black and white or color, but it's just scary. And if you want to create stuff to sell on there, then you can do that as well.
So we've come to the end. It's 12 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock. So you know how to contact Karen. You're going to get a rerun of this video piece as well, so you can catch up on all the points. And Karen's got her contact behind, so do connect with Karen. Be inspired, even more inspired, connect with each other. Let's see how we can create some collaborations, and let's publish some fantastic journals, leading up to Christmas as well. Christmas is coming, everyone needs journals. Yes.
Stop saying the C word, it's far too soon. Now, if you're going to do a planner, you need to be planning it now. But journals, they're great fun. But yeah, journals are more for either Christmas presents or the new year. If you were doing a sort of mindfulness or something like that for the new year, journals are really good for that one. Yes, because people are just in the mindset of wanting to make some changes.
And people will start buying their Christmas presents, it's quite soon. We're in June. You've got about 2 or 3 months now to get this journal written so you can hit the Christmas market. Or you could be actually doing calendars, those doing photography, photographic calendars, or all sorts of stuff. The cards, those cards you give. Yeah, loads of stuff that goes. Be inspired, create loads. Christmas is coming. Anyway, we're getting to the end of the day. Thank you, everyone, and look forward to seeing you next Monday at 11 o'clock. So give Karen a last round of applause. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
Cheerio, everyone. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye all. Bye.
Bye.